What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Deep Thoughts with the Deep. Today's episode is going to be all about recapping season 4 of The Boys for you guys. This is hopsgeeknews, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and of course, we do typically have a beer of the week. Last time you probably saw us together was, at Lauren's house. Last week, we did have a pretty fun episode with Jesse from Good Days Entertainment, but we are now going to be sitting here recapping season 4 of The Boys before we go into the finale, the final season, which we've gotten to see episodes 1 through 7 of, and we can't talk about quite yet, but stay tuned on Nerd Initiative for some spoiler-free reactions coming up this week from the two of us. Go check out the interview I did with Karen Fukuhara and Jesse T. Usher, and that was a lot of fun as well. So like, subscribe, share, follow anywhere you get your podcasts, social media. Hops Geek News. My beer of the week is Brain Radio from Sideward Brewing. Josh, Lauren's husband, shoved this in my bag before I left, so I had 2 cans. So I'm drinking 1 can, and it's delicious. Lauren's in deep thought.
Deep thoughts with the deep, like you said. No, I'm texting Megan my favorite comic book this week, which was Minor Threats: The Last Devil Left Alive. Daredevil was pretty phenomenal too. Right. But my beer is Yacht Money from... Oh, I did not opt for the blind bag. They asked.
And I'm going to rip packs. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rip some packs with Sean and Megan.
I was like, just give me what you got. I don't care. I'm like, it's going to go on my bookshelf. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to read it. I'm going to love it. And it's going to go on my bookshelf. And that's what happened. Although it hasn't made it to my bookshelf yet. It's on a stack of piles to be put on a bookshelf. But I got Yacht Money.
In a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
All right, Blair Wilson.
I got Yacht Money from Sideward, and I got my little Homelander and Butcher, so let's freaking go. This is going to be diabolical. I can't wait for season 4, so we're ready, or season 5, so we're ready to recap season 4, because a lot happened, and this season happened 2 years ago almost.
I completely forgot how long ago it happened, because you don't really think about it, right? And then you realize, oh God, it has been that long.
Yeah. And I mean, we watched the finale on the Mickey boat when we were in Europe, because I remember
we were in Europe at that time. I completely forgot when you totally watched it without me.
Yeah. So, and here's obviously spoilers ahead for all of, well, I think this is pretty obvious because Jensen Ackles is in all the trailers for season 5. The end credit scene when you see a beautiful little Snow White in her little glass coffin sleeping Jensen Ackles. So I watched that scene on a Mickey boat in the middle of the ocean off the coast of Spain.
No, and then you're sitting there, I watched it already.
But you had seen the end credit scene and hadn't told me, so I remember being thoroughly impressed but you didn't even give any indication. And every episode we had recorded leading up to that, I was like, I hope Soldier Boy comes back. I know he's not dead. And you gave no indication you knew, and you knew that whole time. You're a slippery little son of a nutcracker.
I knew everything. Yeah, let's kind of, you want to just jump into it, or are we talking our normal stuff first? What are you thinking? Because I'm ready for some Boys.
I didn't even prep any normal stuff. I've just been enthralled in The Boys. Normal stuff? What's that?
Like comic books, so the news. There's not really much news that we've caught up on. We have been really busy because we've been watching season 5. We don't know the finale, but so we've been trying to get that and get articles out for there and doing a lot of work at Nerd Initiative. But yeah, aside from The Boys, we did obviously watch Daredevil, so you can go check out our thoughts, and I highly recommend going to check out. We did read Enemy of My Enemy by Alex Segura, so I would recommend checking out on Nerd Initiative's YouTube, and we'll probably do a little collab afterwards. It was live. Check that out. But let's dive into it. Spoilers ahoy. If you haven't watched season 4, consider this your recap. Consider yourself warned, because we're going to start previously on season 3. Homelander says he's better than everybody else, and he knows it. Butcher tells Ryan he can't look at him. Annie quits the 7, joins the Boys, and she caught deep banging an octopus, as one does. This one, you know what? This one's going to be pretty potty mouth. So if you're listening with kids around,
don't do anything with kids around if you're anything with the Boys.
Butcher's brain is leaking some ooze. They failed to use Soldier Boy to kill Homelander, and Homelander slices the dude's brain in half for hitting Ryan with a plastic bottle. The crowd cheers him on while doing this.
You hear that that music that's now infamous with Homelander.
Victoria soups up her daughter, and Nina has Frenchie on a tight leash. Homelander then kills Black Noir because he knew Soldier Boy was his dad and never told him. And Maeve is now a human and dips out, peace out, with her girlfriend to never, who knows if we'll get to see her again.
Ashley turns a blind eye. Might be the last human thing Ashley did.
Yeah, I think that might have actually been the only human thing that Ashley really has done, and the last thing that she has done that was somewhat decent, but yeah, why don't you kick us off with episode 1 of season 4?
Department of Dirty Tricks. So it's a Singer Newman event on election night. The boys are there to commit some high treason, and they have some help doing it. Homelander finds a gray pube and then hypes up Ryan by telling him not to be nervous because humans are simply toys for our amusement. Homelander, being there, messes up their plans completely, because that's what he does. And Victoria doesn't want Homelander's support because he's on trial for murder. Butcher begs Ryan to come back with him. Homelander walks in and sees the tumor in Butcher's head. Zoe makes Frenchie and Kimiko, or she finds Frenchie and Kimiko in her mom's room, and she rips off Kimiko's arms because she is full crazy gnarly soup with like...
I love that Kimiko gets to regenerate because they do a lot of stuff with her, but then she gets to come back. So I feel like it adds to the boys' dynamic where they can have a little bit more fun. There is damage taken without them...
When she puts herself in harm's way because she can do that. Like you even see in this scene when they come out of the window, Starlight saves Frenchie, not Kimiko. And then when Kimiko sits up, they're all like, oh. All right. So Newman confronts Huey, who says he's like, you turned your daughter into a monster, to which she replies, quote, that sounds like the pot calling the kettle a teleporting dude with his dick out, end quote. I will say, and I feel like it's a testament to Kripke in a sense, because the one-liners in Supernatural and The Boys are phenomenal. But The Boys, of course, gets to take it up a notch. Yeah. But they take it up a notch because they don't really have, I mean, I know they still have some filters, like Amazon does tell them, like I saw a great interview with Kripke today debating like how many wrinkles were allowed in a penis because it's not allowed to be erect on TV, so it can only be partially erect. But I feel like we've seen a couple erect ones in Gen V and The Boys, but I guess they had enough wrinkles to not be considered a fully erect.
Wrinkles does it count?
He said he thinks it was
Amazon 4. Like 1, 2, 3.
Look up.
That's a fourth wrinkle.
Google this interview because he was literally saying that. And he's like, I was laughing that this is like my job to go back and forth and debate on how many wrinkles we should put into this giant. I was about to say pee-pee.
I don't think so. I think that's
maybe
just
he was just born that way. A stretch mark. Ooh, okay. Where were we? But that line is phenomenal.
CIA now?
So Huey, they're working with the CIA now. Huey then dumps acid on her and Butcher shoots her, but she's fine. Singer and Newman win. They're president and vice president elect. So we're at the CIA now, who are now bankrolling the boys, and Mallory is working there again, and she is pissed at Butcher about Ryan. Robert Singer yells at MM that 2 of his guys were murdered by a 12-year-old, and now a soup is 1 heartbeat away from the presidency, and it's his heartbeat. A line straight from the comics. They want Newman dead. Enter Butcher's imaginary friend, Joe Kessler, a.k.a. Monkey, played by the lovely Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So MM's ex kicked out the weird Homelander-loving dude, so he's no more, so we think. But now she's worried about MM, and Janine is struggling with the fact that he left. So she asks MM, hey, you're good at finding people. Can you just go find him? Make sure he's okay. It'll help Janine. Homelander awakes from a nightmare of all the crap he's done and has been done to him as he spirals over this trial, which is the trial for killing the dude. Ashley is focused on getting new people on the 7, and before we get to Sister Sage, who is on Teenage Kicks with A-Train, who A-Train is not a fan of her, we see Dognot for a second. He later showed up in Gen V.
God, I hate Dognot so much.
And Homelander's like, I am sick of sycophants, and he tells the Deep to blow A-Train, and A-Train the Deep actually goes to do it, and then Homelander's like, get up. Like, he wanted to see if they would do it, if they would fight, and they didn't fight. Butcher is at a Vought video and meets up with Newman. We see a poster board with a younger Polarity on it. Fun little Easter egg from Gen V. Homelander needs help getting Ryan back. Butcher mentions he knows about the virus from Godolkin, and he tells her she's got the CIA and the boys up against her. They need each other. Newman wants the file Huey has of her from the Soup orphanage, which showed like she killed her parents. That's how she ended up with Stan Edgar. This is all still episode 1, mind you. So we see Homelander pull another... I know, it really does. We see Homelander pull another gray pube and add it to his collection next to the Nazi Stormfront memorabilia and a Medela breastfeeding bottle from Stillwell. Homelander then goes to visit Sister Sage, dressed as a civilian, which is weird to see him like that. Her place, weird. Especially because his muscles are built into his costume, so it's like a reminder.
On, you're like, you're just a scrawny little pipsqueak. Like, I could take you.
He is a little scrawny, yeah.
He's like the only superhero that has never actually had to get on the Marvel beefed up diet, like everybody else, because obviously this isn't Marvel, number one, and number two, who cares? He's got super strength in the show still.
It seems like they do that with a few of the boys people, because I guess Anthony Stark even asked Jensen, he goes, why didn't you just ask him to build the muscles? Because Jensen asked if they were going to put muscles in his suit, and the costume person's like, no, you're going to come back with those. But he also, his first scene, he was nude, so he kind of can't really.
Out a lot too, anyways. But
I think he worked out more for this though. Like he was posting pictures in the gym during COVID and stuff. Yeah, we'll see. I got distracted. Sorry.
Yeah,
thinking about Soldier Boy without clothes on.
She's hoarding all the books, and
she's hoarding all the books. Yes, she tells him she can tell he's going through some middle age crap. She explains how democracy always fails and how he can swoop in and save the day like Caesar. He then invites her to the Seven and says he's smart enough to listen to her because she's like, "Are you even going to listen to me?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm smart enough to do that." Which that is a sign of intelligence when you're willing to listen to the people smarter around you. Yeah. Huey's dad had a stroke and is unresponsive at the hospital. As Butcher hugs Huey to comfort him, he also steals a USB off of him. We're like, oh, Butcher, you're being nice. No, he's not. It's stealing the thing to give it to Newman. And then Frenchie and Kimiko find his wife's ex. Oh, they find the Homelander-loving dude.
Yeah.
MM's ex. Yeah. He's meeting with Sister Sage to see Homelander, who then tells them they're martyrs to the greatest cause on Earth. And he tells Deep, A-Train, and Noir to beat these three fans to death with bats. Noir and Deep follow through. A-Train looks annoyed. Then Noir talks out of nowhere. Because remember, Noir died in the last season. And he's like, what the fuck? And the boys see Homelander fly away. As the verdict comes out, Starlighters and Team Homelander are outside the courtroom. Homelander is not guilty. It seemed like the OJ trial all over again.
Yeah,
Sister
Sage. No Bronco.
Sister Sage is dressed in Starlight attire and yells, "Fuck you, fascist," as she throws her coffee at a Homelander, and chaos ensues. A-Train is then told to put the bodies into the chaos, and they are now suddenly victims of Starlighters. Frenchie sleeps with Colin, but he clearly can tell that Frenchie is hiding something from him. Huey's mom shows up at the hospital, and Butcher is talking to his dead wife, which inspires him to send a picture of his a-hole to Newman instead of the files Huey has on her. It was a legit picture of an asshole.
That's like they really pack a lot into the opening episode. They don't hold back. I kind of forgot some of this happened because I didn't have a chance to rewatch all of it. But as you're the probably the most shocking part was Noir and Deep beating. Because we haven't really seen that. Yeah, Homelander lasered a bunch of people, but to this point he's not killed any of his own fan base, but now things are getting put into motion. And I for some reason I forgot too that Sage was around only in season 4 and then this season.
Yeah, she was big in season 4.
Yeah, you feel it. And then I think Gen V also threw me for a loop
because she was in that. Yeah, and she played a somewhat pivotal role in there. So that was Black Noir. This Black Noir's first time killing anybody.
Yeah, it was. And
so now, are you ready to traumatize us? Let's do it.
We kick off with some Biggie, baby, and some people that are clearly doing drugs. This is when A-Train enters, and then Will Ferrell, of course, because why not?
We get Will Ferrell as Will Ferrell.
Set him straight and stop him from slinging yow to the gangbangers.
Slinging yayo. That's another word for like coke. Yayo, slinging yayo. Just some gangbangers.
It's the
you never did yayo.
And it's all a bunch of BS which Black Noir wants to know if Homelander is going to make him kill a lot of people because he's coming off of, the whole, hey, we just beat these guys to death. So on the news, we see 2 black men being blamed for the murders. Huey's long lost mom also works for Vought, which adds a bit of
brutality.
Kimiko is seeing a therapist at this point, and Butcher then tells the boys that he's dying. Annie does the whole "I told you so," which really
that's like her MO always. I told you so.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not really a fan of her in the show. At that point,
no, I stopped liking her in 3.
Annoying, right? And so from there, Vought wants to make a Ryan movie, and he doesn't really love the idea. Sage doesn't love the idea, and she says that it needs to be pitched with Ryan as a standalone. To which Homelander is also not happy because that's his son. It should be like Homelander thinks, Ryan's my heir and all of that stuff. It should be the.
But Homelander still wants it about him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because with Soldier Boy, he even said to Homelander, like, if I had known you were my son, like, I would have stepped back. Like, when they shipped me off to Russia to make room for you, like, who wouldn't want that for their son? And that was in the conversation when he tells him he's dad. And now, obviously Homelander's not the same.
Well,
But,
we're going to go to TruthCon now. You see a conspiracy saying Soldier Boy and Liberty were lovers. Vought Rising nod, perhaps, because we know that show's going to be coming out. And there's a lot of kind of like there, because we're going to see Soldier Boy's, the whole Vought coming up and him getting to become Soldier Boy and all that stuff.
I'm Soldier Boy.
Yeah. We see multiple splinters setting up the stage for Firecracker, who is leading the movement of the alt-right suit movement on YouTube called Truth Bomb.
Was it?
Yeah, her thing's just like shooting fireworks.
Trying to make the noise.
That's got to be like the worst thing ever. She's like the poor man's Jubilee, only Jubilee is not racist and crazy. And anyways,
she really never shows superpowers. She's
really
just an image.
Actually. She's there. Yeah, she's there because she's an attractive woman and she's there to pull those people in, right?
Yeah.
So,
she hits all the boxes.
Chugging 6 beers at this point and tells Frenchie to go be with Colin, who because she thinks she's holding him back. She's getting drunk. She's really kind of going through it, like we saw she was at therapy. They go to follow Splinter to the sauna. And this is when we see the. I think
we don't need to talk about this scene, do we? Splinter's in there with a lot of himself, doing stuff to himself and getting pink eye.
Never go ass to mouth, man.
Unless it's true love. He really loves himself.
Yeah. So Sage asks Firecracker what she's actually selling, and she tells her purpose. After being racist and condescending, Kimiko sees a poster of a kidnapped child that she identifies with, and then she attacks somebody and signs that if they actually cared about kids, they'd go after the real traffickers. I mean, she's not wrong.
Nope.
They then go spy on Firecracker and Sage, which the whole thing was a setup. Firecracker and Splinter are told to kill them. The pink eye makes it a little hard for him to see. Splinter can't really see because he's got pink eye.
Oh, you have pink eye.
So a bunch of copies get taken out. Splinter then makes more, and now there are a bunch of naked Splinters, and they are all next door to a bat mitzvah shooting each other up. This is hilarious, just ridiculous.
Yeah. So they stumbled into this bat mitzvah and there's naked men everywhere, but it's all Splinter.
Yes, Chuck from Supernatural. If you know that, it is God. Yes.
It is God.
What if God?
God is everywhere. God multiplied. Yeah, but there's it's like an advertisement for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel because that's like the theme of the bat mitzvah, which is another Prime show.
Yes, that's right. Lois Lane, if you will. Butcher shows up nick of the time. Splinter Prime is taken out, which kills the rest of them, and then Firecracker runs away. Annie and Huey try to talk to A-Train, but Huey holds her back to let him deal with his brother and nephews. As a thank you, A-Train gives them footage exonerating the Starlight Killers. As Ryan is doing his first save, Homelander unexpectedly shows up, and then Ryan throws the stunt guy a little bit too hard, which kills him. And
he's like, I can take it. You could be a little rough. Splat.
Yeah, that was... Ryan's clearly not taking this well. He's crying. Homelander's thinking it's because he showed up. And then he's kind of surprised because he learned to find out he's crying because he killed somebody. And Homelander's like, dude, what? Who cares?
Because to him, it's like stepping on an ant.
Yeah, he doesn't care. So, like, it's one of those things. And it's a little, it's a little messed up. So Frenchie Skypes an old friend. And we learn that Frenchie met Colin at NA and got him a job. But years ago, he murdered Colin's family because it was a job. And, the
mom was a judge. And it was a job. He had to go and kill the mom to prove a point. Colin had hid under the bed. But yeah, that story is like tragic and like...
It's really sad, man. It really...
Yeah. Especially because you know that there's something between them. And Kimiko knows that because she saw them like find each other during the Starlight killing thing because Colin got hit and Frenchie goes and like knocks somebody out or whatever and saves Colin. And then like you see like the moment between them that... Frenchie not only felt guilty, he really, really did care for this guy. So it's sad.
And this was like Frenchie's past. And it's a lot of this stuff wasn't because he wanted to do it. I mean, he just bad situations and.
Yeah. But you know what's a great situation? Christmas time. So we're about to put the Christ back in Christmas. Just a reminder, I know you all have heard me say this before, but you can find that on different streaming platforms and add it to your Christmas playlist. And every time it pops on in between Nat King Cole and Mariah Carey, you will have a huge grin on your face because it's hilarious. So Firecracker.
Right in between Nat King Cole and Mariah Carey where it belongs.
Exactly. Okay, so episode 3, we'll keep the real flag flying here. Firecracker and Sister Sage are officially in the 7 with one spot still open. Butcher talks to Kessler about how he's going to drug and kidnap Ryan. Homelander rolls his eyes at Firecracker's nonsense, but he's trying to listen to Sage. He really is trying. Robert Singer says he wants to ban Supes from military, policing, and all government jobs. Let's keep Supes as entertainers. Vicky pretends to agree. He knows she's a Supe. She doesn't know he knows she's a Supe, but she might actually know, but they're both playing their parts. MM wants to flip A-Train. Ryan is playing a video game and gets a request from somebody called Don't Be a See You Next Tuesday. It's Ryan as Lamplighter versus Butcher as Crimson Countess, and it is the most violent game I've ever seen in my life. Butcher then invites him over in real life. Meanwhile, Firecracker throws herself at Homelander. He does not care. He is not attracted to her at all, and even tells her so. And New Noir wants some direction in his acting. Homelander kicks Ashley out and says Sage is basically the new CEO. Noir, we learn, is a narcoleptic as he just passes out. And Sage wants to know how Starlight cleared the 2 Starlighters. The Deep struggles with his relationship with Ambrosia, which is the octopus, voiced by the amazing, what's her name from Doctor Strange? Tilda Swinton.
Yes,
Anyways, very respected and renowned actress.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Ashley is crushes caught new balls. So Ashley is crushing the guy from VNN's balls and complaining that she wants to quit at the same time, but he's liking it. So
he's really into it. It's kind of weird.
Really into it. To each their own. MM clones A-Train's brother's phone and meets up with him. Kimiko and Frenchie go to take down Shining Star. Frenchie is all high and sees blood as rubber duckies and Colin with his dead family. Should remind you guys, Shining Star is the organization that basically kidnapped Kimiko and made her the way that she is. So she's, wanting to take them down. But of course, Frenchie's dealing with all the stuff with Colin and everything and all this guilt from because it's like making him feel guilty about all the innocent people he killed. Yeah. And so he's seeing like rubber duckies while Kimiko's like fighting and killing people for real, and he's having this whole like trip gone wild.
Ducky, you're the one.
I mean, people start bleeding and rubber ducks just come out of them. Oh, and then we see Colin with his dead family, and Kimiko actually sees an old friend. Butcher has a moment with Ryan and decides not to actually drug him. In trying to find the leak, Homelander laser brains some poor Vought employee that donated clothes to the Starlight home, which we had actually met her in Crime Analytics the season before. Starlight confronts Firecracker, and it turns out Starlight had bullied Firecracker in the pageant circle back in the day when they were 13. So Starlight was the bully. Now,
woof.
It's Vought on ice.
It is.
MM and Huey are undercover there thanks to A-Train giving them intel that Homelander would be there. Homelander, Sage, and Newman are meeting. They plan to take out Singer and want Newman to come out as a Supe and basically put them in control. A drop of sweat from the vent lands on Homelander, and he can smell that it's Huey. He's like, Q Campbell! MM blinds Homelander with the spotlight, and he cuts Fake Maeve in half, and chaos ensues. People are running each other over with ice skates. It's crazy.
It's a massacre out there. I also love Homelander and Huey's little rivalry that they've had going on. You know, the back and forth, because it's Homelander, the most powerful Supe out there, and then Huey, who has no powers.
Right, and I think that frustrates Homelander so much too.
It is. Yeah.
But A-Train's the one that actually manages to get him out of there. So Sage and Deep go at it after her self-inflicted lobotomy, of course, and Homelander screams at Ryan asking why he isn't good enough for him. Cue Mirror Homelander calling for John. Oh, John. All the different Mirror Homelanders are there, and they tell him, you need to go back to the start. You need to go home.
Yes. Now, Wisdom of the Ages, episode 5.
4. That's on me.
Yeah. Homelander goes home with a Fudgy the Whale cake. Huey's dad is now brain dead, unfortunately. Sorry, bud. Firecracker's new live show sets up across the street from the Starlight House. Yes. Back at
again,
Homelander,
the do-do-do-do. That's what I just hear every time I think Firecracker. Okay.
We learn Homelander was tortured as they tested his skin to see if it would burn. It didn't burn, but it did hurt. The guy who turned
just like Wolverine.
I was just doing my job, man. So Homelander makes him get into the oven.
Sounds like a Nazi.
Goodbye, Frank. Yeah, that scene was pretty rough, man.
It was, but they deserved it. I'm sorry, but they did. You tortured children. You tortured a child. Yeah. Like, come on. He wasn't evil. He wasn't born evil.
Yeah, it's a product of his environment, right? It's one of those things. Next up is Marty. He called Homelander squirt after catching him jerking off as a kid. Now it's Marty's turn to jerk it in front of everybody as Homelander laughs. Marty can't get hard, so off goes his dick.
Maybe it's because Amazon wouldn't let him.
Amazon wouldn't let him. It had 4 wrinkles. Now, Barbara's turn. She then tells him to put Marty out of his misery. So he steps on his head. Barbara then tells him about the day that he was born. He lasered out of his mom, flew up, killing a nurse and some doctors. Everybody was scared of him, so they brought him in the best psychologist to control him. They still decided to torture him.
I know. Let's bring in psychologists to deal with this. But let's still turn up the oven and see if his skin burns.
Yeah. Homelander then kills everybody else, locks Barbara in the bad room with all of the bodies. Butcher
that was dark.
Yeah, again,
she had it coming. She only has herself to blame.
She tortured a kid. Butcher tells MM that if he dies, he wants him to raise Ryan. And Butcher tried to blackmail Firecracker with pedophile stuff. And she got arrested at 28 for banging a 15-year-old. So she's trying to blackmail her because she was getting with an underage kid. So she comes on stage, told the story, and said that's when she found God.
She's like, hit send. She goes to his phone and she's like, send it. I don't care.
Then she tells a story about how Starlight blinded a mom of 3 during her first save as a child. Butcher ends up getting the keys to her trailer. And then Firecracker tells the world that Annie had an abortion 6 months ago. Annie loses her, understandably, again, she loses her shit and attacks her live on TV until...
Understandably to lose your shit, but to then physically attack her, that was stupid. She reacted solely on emotion.
Yeah.
Solely on emotion. Exactly. Yeah. Like, really, you're that stupid? I don't think she's stupid, but that was stupid.
Up on that one. Justified in some ways, but dude, you got to play the game.
It's like worse than Star-Lord.
Oh, yeah. Star-Lord is still pretty worse because half the universe got snapped, but
he was still in that moment. Like, Annie, like, this was like, and Gamora was dead. Like, Annie's more mad. Like, I felt like Star-Lord was more justified in his emotions and his reactions right there. Like, Annie knew what she was doing. She knew that Liberty, wrong Nazi.
Firecracker.
Knew that Firecracker was just trying to get her riled up.
Mixed up. There's just too many of them. God bless.
Right.
Jeez.
Okay.
God.
Right.
So Butcher blacks out and destroys Ezekiel at this point. Remember Ezekiel was kind of the pastor guy. So Frenchie
with the really long arms.
He ended up killing his parents and his sister. He attacks Frenchie and Frenchie just kind of takes it, man.
He lets him choke him, and not in a fun way.
Starlight's bullshit now makes it so Singer cannot align himself with her anymore and help them out. So at the end, she messed everything up, dude. She really their best play is ruined. Huey ends up getting Compound V from A-Train for his dad, and he's back. Huey then ends up forgiving A-Train for everything that he did with, he started the whole thing.
With Robin.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 5. Beware the Jabberwock, my son. It's the V-52 Expo. Butcher tells the team about the soup-killing virus from Godolk and U. Before they try to use it, they need a presidential pardon for Stan Edgar. Stan takes them to where he thinks she'd be cooking up a virus. Suddenly, all their noses are bleeding. Victoria is there. Someone took her scientist before they got there. As they go looking for the missing scientist, Annie unnecessarily punches Newman. Again, just... Dude, control yourself.
Card, man. She is too unpredictable. And it's not working out for you, girl. Come on.
Then Butcher sees a beat-up bunny. He lets loose the beat-up bunny with tentacles coming out of it. So he sees that. So he had seen a beat-up bunny in the thing, let it loose. Then he finds it dead, and there's tentacles coming out of it. So of course it's much like himself.
Yeah.
Next, they see some beat-up sheep completely rip a bull apart, and they all start running. Don't worry, the only people that died were the cannon fodder people that nobody knew their names. So they find the scientist. It's actually Newman's baby daddy. It's the guy from, is it Andor? The really nice guy that was like part of the Empire, and then he turned, and he was like trying to help.
Yeah.
I might be getting my Star Wars characters confused, but he was in Star Wars.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so he has 1 dose of the soup virus. They put it into the dead guy to kill the beat-up sheep. Okay, so I have to... This was so funny because Frenchie must have still been a little bit high.
The dude from Andor who... Yeah, he was he was the pilot, the X-Wing pilot. Or the TIE Fighter pilot, remember? He was the pilot who got kidnapped by... what's his name? Saw Gerrera. And they use like the little alien on him and everything, but he's trying to find Saw Gerrera to tell him about Galen Erso. Anyways, continue. He was from Rogue One.
He was in Coruscant.
He was from Rogue One.
I don't think he was in Rogue One. I could be wrong.
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
we'll have to.
it is.
Okay. Either way, he's in the Star Wars universe, and now he's in the boys universe. Okay, so they have one dose of the virus, and they're like, okay, we need to get the virus into the sheep to kill the sheep so the sheep don't kill them. And they're all stuck in this thing, even with Newman. And then Frenchie, who's still high, because they're all thinking, like, we're going to stick it into the dead guy, put the dead guy out there, and the sheep will eat the dead guy, and they'll get the virus, and they'll die. Frenchie goes about the dead guy, this man is in no condition to fuck a sheep. And they all just look at him. And it's just like, what?
Like, what is going on here?
So the scientist in this, they all, the sheep get, all end up dying. They're running for it. And the scientist disappears in this. And they just find his leg. So he's presumed dead. Stan is sent back to prison because no virus, no pardon. Victoria, of course, busts him out with her head popping skills and rescues her, pseudo father.
Yes.
So Butcher circles back. He had, of course, kidnapped the scientist and chopped his leg off. He wants him to make more of the virus. Homelander has a good dad moment with Ryan. He does have those in there. I do think that, he does care about him. He just cares about himself more.
In there is just somebody who wants to be loved, and that's all he wants.
100%. Although Homelander does compare their childhoods to slavery. He told Ryan he doesn't have to make a movie if he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to manipulate Ryan like he was manipulated. So Vought News dude then dumps Ashley because he needs a dom that is dominating, and she's lost power at Vought. Well, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So they see the crappy movie dude making his PA feel uncomfortable. So Homelander has Ryan fix it because he can tell, like, he's being a dick. Ryan, what would you do? So she makes him apologize and has the PA keep slapping that guy. The creepy guy who makes all the movies. Yeah. So A-Train comes clean to Ashley. She tells him she doesn't want to join the Rebel Alliance, but she dropped a floater in Homelander's toilet. So he'll kill her if A-Train tells him. We then see Kate and Sam from Gen V in a new movie called Flipped. Which I feel like, this is gross, but if Homelander can smell Huey's sweat,
he could be able. I was picking up what you're putting down. He would be able to smell who that poop came from, right?
Right. Okay. Definitely. I'm glad we're on the same page.
I was thinking that too. You're good. Yes, it is gross, but to what degree is he able to sense things? So.
Right. Okay, so back at the hospital, Huey's dad seems all better thanks to the V A-Train gave him, but then he completely loses it. Like he's going in and out of realizing what is reality. Suddenly, he's holding another patient's heart, and he doesn't know why. He can walk through stuff, and he runs right into a person. Then he tells Huey and his ex that he has to take Huey to the Vought store to buy a Tech Knight action figure that he's been saving up for. Huey's dad then comes back, has a lucid moment again, and Huey basically puts him down. It's very sweet. It's very sad.
Very sad moment, yeah.
Yeah, but Huey did get closure, as much closure as you can get in that moment.
At the end. And he does what he unfortunately has to do, which is kill his dad.
Yeah. So Homelander gathers a group at the Vought tour and tells them they're no longer celebrities. They're going to be wrathful gods. He tells them to be ready when they're needed. We're going to start with the leak. Ashley put MM's stuff on the Vought news guy's phone. Like I said, hell hath no fury. They then beat the Vought news guy to death in the office of the Seven. Frenchie turns himself in for murders, plural.
Murder?
What murders?
Dirty Business, episode 6. Since they killed the Vought news guy, Firecracker is now taking over and she's doing Truth Bomb. A-Train catches MM up and there's a Federalist party that Tech Knight will be at. They decide to go and Huey is undercover as Web Weaver and he's an addict and gives up info for drugs, of course. They borrow his costume and Tech Knight ends up owning more private prisons than anybody else. Go figure, right? Tech Knight brings Huey into his tech cave where his precious sidekick Ladio is locked up. Huey sits bare ass on a cake. And this is when Ashley enters. Now, poor Huey is tied down, getting his feet tickled and starts shouting out random words, hoping that it's the safe word. They really just, poor Huey, man. Poor Huey. He really
I'll never
ends
forget
up in
the
some
safe
situations, So he doesn't know the safe word because it's the thing that he loves the most. And Sage goes to pull an alarm as MM shoots her in the head and then passes out himself. Kamiko gets A-Train, who takes MM to a hospital, and Kamiko and Starlight come in right before Huey was about to get assaulted. Sage is now alive, acting like a child, because, anytime her brain gets messed with, it reverts, which is why she lobotomizes herself. And so Homelander gives a speech about Robert Singer being the biggest threat to our country. He wants to invoke the 25th Amendment. Everybody in the room has questions as to how this is reasonably possible. Sage can't help, so Newman jumps in, and the billionaires are all on board. They were being recorded, and back in the tech cave, they have Tech Knight locked up. Kamiko's hurting him which is instead not hurting him, it's turning him on a bit. And Ladio pulls up his bank accounts, and that's the real torture for him. They start to donate all of his money to liberal organizations. Hilarious.
They're like, Black Lives Matter. He's like, no, not that one. Because they're like, how do you torture a masochist? With their wallet.
Yeah, you really do. These freaking billionaires, man. And that's the real torture. So they start donating his money. Like I said, the Tech Knight finally talks. Homelander and Sage want to use his prisons as internment camps. Suddenly, the butler steps in and kills him. The camps have crossed a line, and he tells them the safe word was Zendaya.
So cute. Boy.
Mother's Milk confirmed was just having a panic attack, so Kimiko tries to visit Frenchie again, to which he refuses. Back at the tour, Firecracker tells Homelander that Starlight was at the party, and Tech Knight is now dead. So the Vought News guy was not the leak, and then she shows Homelander love. He tells her she's not sexually attracted to him, and she shoots milk into his face. He's honored, and then...
the look on his face was phenomenal. It was like a kid on Christmas getting the last thing in the world they expected.
Gross. Ugh. Samir, the scientist, tells Butcher that to make a virus strong enough to kill Homelander, it would be too unstable and airborne. Thereby, it would kill everybody who has the V compound in their system. Suddenly, he realizes that while Becca is the angel on his shoulder, Kessler is the devil, and Kessler is the one that killed Ezekiel.
Dun dun dun. So neither of them are real. Episode number 7, the penultimate, The Insider. Firecracker and Homelander are now all buddy-buddy and not happy with Sage's lack of ability to find the leak. Starlight tosses her costume from last season, and Huey saves it, which Starlight's mom knew about. Ryan finds a gift under his tree from Butcher, because it's Christmas time. It's a picture of Butcher, Becca, and Terror. Vought News reports that Cameron Coleman has died of a brain aneurysm due to the flu vaccine.
Of course.
Butcher, Huey, and Annie go after someone hired to kill the president. They find someone who appears to be a victim, but it's actually a soup shifter. Touching someone rips their skin off and their eyes flicker. How do they find the president killer if it could be anyone? This is so straight up pulled from Supernatural, 100%. Yeah. It is the exact same way that a shapeshifter acts in Supernatural. So tries to dip with his family, and A-Train convinces him to stick around after a kid looked at him admiringly after delivering to the hospital. He felt that, I'm doing the right thing. At the lab with Samir, Frenchie is back to help. Back at Vought Tower, Homelander and Firecracker think Webweaver is the leak. He's locked up and they're trying to ask him questions, and he just keeps leaking web fluid because he's nervous. Then Homelander is sick of it and just rips him in half.
That was gnarly, man.
It was so gross on so many levels. Kimiko is pissed at Frenchie for not telling her about Colin, and she then tells him she can't speak because of what she did. She murdered other kids, and she wasn't supposed to make a sound. So when she could talk again, she couldn't. It was kill or be killed, but she still regrets what she did. Her and Frenchie bond over that. They were both, forced into a life that wasn't really them.
Yeah.
Then Samir stabs Kimiko with the virus, so Frenchie quickly chops off her leg, Walking Dead style, and now they have her leg on ice to do some research. Now it's Ambrosia. Kevin. So she can smell Sage on the Deep, and they begin to argue like a couple, because they are a couple. Keep in mind, Ambrosia is the octopus. Deep then busts her tank and lets her suffocate. And, she doesn't suffocate quick when they're, making love in the bed, but she suffocates pretty quick when she's in the closet. But
quick, what can you say?
I guess we didn't want to listen to her. Yeah, okay. So Huey pays a visit to Victoria. He asks her for help. She was unaware of the camps. She won't help, but she says she's sorry about his dad. She does seem conflicted. She's really she's got a kid. She's trying to protect her kid. Butcher and Starlight head back to their headquarters, and the Deep and Noir welcome them there. They fight, and Noir goes narcoleptic. A-Train shows up and saves Annie. Noir asks if A-Train is the leak. Annie asks if he talked. Noir flies, which the old Noir didn't fly, and guns him down. A-Train and Annie knock out A-Train. And then they get the hell out. A-Train tells Ashley to leave. She won't go, but she tells A-Train to cut out his chip. So, again, Ashley has shreds of humanity. She's like, humanity.
There, she's basically
humanity.
She doesn't have any powers. So,
yet.
She's kind of just stuck. Everybody else has powers. They stand some sort of a fighting chance.
Well, here we go.
So...
tells his ex to go on without him, and Homelander cries over A-Train being the leak. His family is missing, and his chip is cut out. Sage claims she knew he was the leak. She was using A-Train as misinformation delivery system. Homelander's like, you're fired. Turns out Sage was actually...
Banging Noir.
Banging Noir, too. She's getting around. But she didn't need to lobotomize herself to do that. So as Ryan is live with the 7 puppers singing, or puppets singing,
Oh my
if you
God.
see something, say something.
Awful.
And then he just stops. He addresses the camera and says family is not the enemy. He's been thinking about his mom. Butcher is at a bar watching and he actually mentions Billy. So Homelander is also watching, and of course he's not happy. Ryan says he's sorry and he runs off. Butcher is proud, and then Butcher suddenly passes out. Back at their apartment, Huey and Annie have a moment. She puts on her old suit and she rides him while wearing it. She's like, I know you always wanted me to do this. Which, yeah, he grew up loving soups. Of course he did. After he passes out, we see it's a shifter. It's not Annie. She goes into the safe and gets what she wants. Annie is locked up elsewhere. The shifter was some rando who took a selfie with her when she was at the bar with Butcher and MM.
Huey's fault again. Like, I get it. And I know she's about to blame
Huey
him in this
intentionally
finale, but
ignored signs because he was getting everything he wanted, and the shifter, knew exactly what he wanted, played into it.
Huey is very, but I mean, I don't blame
Much a
him for even-
dude.
Yeah, all right. So the finale, A-Train movie is canceled. Vought will make more off of the write-off. Sounds familiar.
Batgirl.
Shifter Annie then proposes to Huey, which Mallory finds Butcher at the hospital, and Homelander finds Butcher's gift and torches the place in anger. Homelander demands Ryan come to him, but he leaves instead. Shifter Annie stops by the real Annie to freshen up, and Shifter asks her why her powers aren't working, and then tells her that she'll have time to think about it after she kills the president.
Dun dun dun.
It's firecracker truth bomb time with Homelander and Victoria. Homelander outs her by attacking her on live TV. The See You Next Tuesday is out of the bag now because
that's what Butcher says.
She's a soup. Homelander tells Ashley that he needs a list of everyone who has anything on him at all. The election has still been certified, but protests have erupted over a super VP elect. Huey goes to leak the murders he had on Victoria, and they're gone, thanks to Shifter Annie. Now, Ryan visits Butcher in the hospital with Mallory. They try to convince him to go with Mallory, but it doesn't, of course.
Right, because he had passed out because of the soup in his body. So that's why he suddenly passed out and he's in the hospital.
Yeah. At the 7 Tower, Firecracker pours milk into a glass for Homelander as she coughs because the milk meds are making her sick.
I feel like she should have just gotten knocked up.
Yeah, they tell Noir and Deep that
So
Singer will
desperate.
be dead soon and Victoria will be president. They now have a kill list of people who have stuff on Homelander. The Deep suggests adding Ashley to the list, which Homelander agrees. She hears them and runs to Homelander's room to inject Compound V.
What? So she must have some kind of superpower. And I've heard a lot of people be like, I wonder what her power is.
What her power is. The boys go underground to where Bobby Singer's at, and we hear Bobby say "idiot," aha, despite the stupid subtitles getting it wrong and saying "idiot." But
and in the Winchesters, it said "agent." Yes, it's "idiot."
He then says balls, and suddenly Huey realizes Shifter Annie is the shifter, and they're in the bunker with her. Real Annie, meanwhile, pulls her bloody hands out of the cuffs. Shifter sees the sudden tension and attacks. Poor Huey is again assaulted. The real Annie shows up, and now it's Annie on Annie. Real Annie wins, Singer survives, and Victoria's terrified. As Homelander tells her she will survive, be president, and do whatever Homelander says.
As long as she knows how to love, I know she'll stay alive.
Annie is pissed. She was gone for 10 days and Huey got laid a lot. Victoria calls Huey and says she wants out. Huey's the only person she trusts with her daughter right now. Man, poor, again, actually, Huey and her are dating in real life. So, that was kind of cute. But, again, Annie, you were kind of acting wrong. Huey's in a bad place. I'm not going to fault him too much.
I would be pissed at it. Okay, she's allowed to be justifiably pissed in this moment because this just happened. And while logically you can be like, okay, this isn't your fault, she's still allowed to be mad. And I actually, some of the things she was saying, he ignored signs. And when he went back, he's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I understood why she was pissed, but I also understood why she forgave him. But she needed that moment. She'd just been locked up for 10 days.
I know, okay.
While her boyfriend's banging her doppelganger.
All right. Well, meanwhile, Noir, Deep, Firecracker start to kill everybody on Homelander's list. Kamiko and Frenchie then kith. Mallory is sick of waiting and straight up tells Ryan how evil Homelander is. Ryan realizes they want to train him to kill his dad. He freaks out. Mallory doesn't want to let him to leave. Realizing he's trapped, he accidentally kills her. Very stupid. Vicky shows up with Zoe and the boys.
To the boys, to where the boys are. She shows up with Joey. She's ready to cooperate.
And Butcher says, "Oi!" And his parasite tentacles rip Newman in half, which is just really dumb, I think, on Butcher's part. So
yeah, they definitely could have used Newman, 100%.
Oh, yeah, that would have come in a lot of handy, idiot. Homelander, not you, but Butcher is. Homelander's sad. Sage says the plane is going swimmingly. They got Singer on tape saying he ordered Newman dead. He's now being arrested, invoking the 25th Amendment, and the allegiance is going to Homelander. Sage smiles, calls Homelander blonde ambition, and says, buckle up for phase 2. Martial law has been declared, and soups are being deputized nationwide to report to Homelander, who claims Starlighters killed Newman, and he is coming for them. As the boys
You
go
could
their
argue
separate
Butcher's
ways.
a Starlighter.
Yeah, As they go their separate ways, they get attacked. Zoe's at Red River. Kate takes Frenchie as Kamiko audibly screams no. Love Sausage takes down. Huey's taken by the bald, angry lady from season 3 who's like Elle when she grows up. Annie flies off. Butcher drives off with Kessler in the back as Firecracker says we will make America strong again, proud again, and super. What happens in the end credit scene? I'll give this to you.
We see Sleeping Beauty just lying there in his ice coffin. Homelander learns his dad is alive and on ice. And of course,
Yes.
Gen V Season 2, Stan Edgar's raising Zoe, so he got her out of the orphanage, and he actually helps the Gen V kids out. Polarity sticks around, though, at the school. He was a soup, now he is a professor there, but he wants to stick around to keep an eye on the other kids, and we end with Godolkin is dead, and all the kids are on the run. Sam, Kate Marie, Jordan, Annabeth, and Emma take off, and Andy and A-Train find them and ask them to join the resistance. Viva la resistance. And that is season 4 of The Boys and a very small tidbit of Gen V season 2.
That is, and that got you caught up. Like I said, we will have coverage of season 5. We will be on Nerd Initiative's YouTube channel. We'll probably be doing a collaboration around here to every post show. There's going to be a post show for every episode of the series final season, I should say. And yeah, buckle up, Buttercups. It's going to be a wild ride to the finish. How does it all wrap up?
Diabolical.
It's going to be absolutely diabolical, and we're excited.
We get that Supernatural reunion, some more Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy felt like a tease in season 3, so I'm really hoping we get more of him in season 5.
Agreed. And then, like I said, yeah, I mean, we get more.
Looking at the trailer,
which is awesome. So,
I mean, there was a decent amount of scenes he's in the trailer.
There is. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, and thank you guys for always hanging out with us. We appreciate you. We will catch you next time. Peace.